Hey everyone, this is Andrew from the Console Gaming Crew, and we couldn't be happier to announce that we are now a part of the Boss Rush Podcast Network and are featured on BossRushGames.com. BossRushGames.com is a great place where you can find up-to-date news articles, blogs, and podcasts about video games. In addition to that, there's a growing collection of podcasts in not just the gaming community, but other communities as well. We are honored to be a part of such a great network of podcasters, so please stop by and give everyone a listen. Thank you so much and enjoy the show.
Yo, crew members, what it be?
Heyo! Hi. I didn't know if you were going to do it or if I was going to do it.
I was looking at you going, is he going to do it? Am I doing it? What's going on?
Now, even though that sounded perfect, that actually was not Anthony. Anthony is on another work sabbatical.
Work hiatus.
Yeah, work hiatus. He's had
He'll be back next week.
Yeah, long week of training. I can tell you right now, he already texted me he wishes he was here because he is hating being where he's at right now. I offered to bust him out. He thought I was kidding, but here we are. Just like the old days.
That was definitely something when it was the two of us. You know, just going, just running. It's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely nice having him back.
Oh,
so.
it's fantastic having him back. But it just like this doesn't feel foreign anymore.
No, not at all.
Doing, you know, when you have a full year of doing it this way, when these episodes pop up, it's like, all right, we know what to do.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we had no idea what to do. So
I appreciate your honesty.
No, we you know, there's a lot of episodes we wanted to put out, but nothing we wanted to put out without Anthony. So this episode, we're just going to bring you a good amount of news, talk about what we're playing, and tease some future episodes. And
Yeah, I think so.
Go from there. I mean, there's some news articles that got us all eggplant emoji'd up. You know?
Yeah, there are a few things that, I mean, you and I were talking. It was just like,
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my.
6 to midnight. Immediately. It didn't work its way up. It just swing. Dude, get us started.
All right, so I have this article from IGN. It was written by Wesley LeBlanc, and I didn't realize they had a Wesley on their team. I'm like, sweet, another one.
It is your French brother.
Yes, my white French brother.
Hey,
but he has an article that he wrote that everything's been reported by Wired, and it says that PlayStation Studios, which is like Guerrilla Games, Naughty Dog, Insomniac, and all the rest, they have 25 titles that are in development right now for the PS5, and half of those are said to be brand new franchises.
you gotta love that.
Now we already know we already know about like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. We know about Horizon Forbidden West, which we're actually going to talk about a little bit later. We know about God of War Ragnarok, which is probably going to be fucking incredible. What type of game would you actually want?
Oh God, that's such a like.
It is an incredibly
You got 3
vague
hours?
question. It is an incredibly vague question, but so with the way people like Insomniac and Guerrilla, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, all these companies that are, that make PlayStation exclusives. What style do you think that that you'll be able to get from them that would actually go ahead and really like just make it pop? It would be another game that would be okay. Sony did it again.
I don't know, dude. It's so hard. It's so hard because in more ways than one.
Okay, fine then. Instead of that, let me ask you this: what game do you want to see a sequel or continuation of that we haven't heard yet?
You give me a layup. You just tossing me a slow one right down the middle.
We'll do that first, and then we'll move to you trying to hit the curveball. Okay.
Okay. Let's see. So I want a Last of Us Part 3.
We already know about Last of Us Part 2 getting a multiplayer. You know what I mean? That's already in the works.
We did just talk last week or the week before about how The Last of Us Part 3 has a storyline written.
Yes.
They're just not touching it
Yeah,
yet.
Alex went ahead and already told us about that.
But I don't. I said that.
Was that you? I thought that was Alex.
No credit here. Oh, man. No credit. Oh, man. And that's why I do this. I want affirmation of everything I do.
Okay,
no,
superstar.
I was kidding. Superstar. Let me think. I Man, I love the. It's weird because I don't want to keep rehashing old games, even though I love them. Because I love me a new IP. I love something brand. That's why I'm so excited about, hearing more about like Starfield and all that shit, like that brand new stuff. But I mean, I'm a sucker for the Uncharted games. I would not be mad at another one of those. However you want to do that.
Okay. Actually, I haven't heard anybody think of anything like that, so that's actually not a bad one for a continuation.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to keep.
I mean, Insomniac has already said that they're working on another full-fledged Spider-Man game. So
that was going to be next.
Already in the works.
I enjoyed the shit out of Miles Morales. So
as has everyone else that I've heard.
Yeah.
I want my PS5 before I play it though.
Oh yeah, as you should. Where would you take that though? Like, where would you take that franchise?
What, Spider-Man?
Yeah. Like, what would your knowing what Spider-Man and then Miles Morales was? What would be your perfect 3 or third game, I should say?
Well, I mean, it would have to be something that could do with the multiverse. It would have to be. Get Spider-Man 2099. You know what I mean? Obviously, Spider-Ham has to be a part of it. Spider-Ham is such a unique and weird and quirky character to where you need to figure out a way to get him in somehow.
I also love a good game when they flip the shit. So, like, let me be bad. Give me a Venom game. Give me, let me be Venom.
That would be an awesome game for a new IP.
Yeah.
Because
let me be Carnage.
Venom's not.
Could you imagine? Yeah, right? Like, give me that.
See, I know a very little bit about Carnage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, backstory, everything else. Holy hell, you are asking for... So, you're playing your Freaky Friday game, and we'll talk about that later, too. It would be that on fucking steroids with so much more blood. That would be Carnage, because the whole thing about the symbiotes in these games is that they take the characteristics of the host and they amplify it.
Yeah.
So if somebody is good, they make them. I mean, you're still good, but a lot of the symbiotes are still. They still have evil tendencies. You know what I mean? Like, so to which, like, Black Suit Spider-Man, he would still like rage out and almost kill somebody. You know what I mean? Until he's able to get back in his own headspace and be like, wait a minute, this is wrong.
Yeah. See, I love the ideas occasionally of seeing things from the other side. So that's why I say things like that. Imagine.
See, Venom wouldn't be bad because Venom is essentially an anti-hero.
Yeah.
So Venom, Venom's kind of like Punisher. You can walk that line, even kill, because you justified as any means necessary is going to go ahead and get the job done, as opposed to somebody like Carnage, who, Carnage is, the symbiote is attached to a serial killer, horrendous psychopath. So he kills with absolutely just no regard to anything.
Yeah.
So, like, with that game, that would be more of like, how could you kill? What are the ways that you can kill with being able to form your limbs and into whatever type of weapon you deem necessary for that particular action? Because that's what Carnage can do.
Yeah. Like, I just think about how cool it would be to show down with, Spider-Man or Miles Morales or something like that, but not beat them. Go against them. That would be cool. Like, I love the thought of I love Jedi Fallen Order. How cool it would be to be Darth Vader. To be that badass dude.
Now, once again, I like your idea if it's Venom, because Venom will kill, but Venom also has a limit. Mm-hmm. Venom sees himself and he goes, we can't do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And fighting Spider-Man, it could essentially go to that point, especially if they have a common enemy like Carnage or Scream or one of the other symbiotes. You know what I mean? But Carnage doesn't have that. Doesn't have that filter in their brain to go ahead and say, well, we're just not going to kill. They go, there's so many people to kill.
Yeah.
Look on this street. There are 87 people on the street. How am I going to kill each one of them? Oh, one ran away? Not happening.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, man. It's like a freaking feral dog.
Yeah. Well, give me Venom. That's what I want. Give me
Venom.
Venom.
I like Venom.
That'd be a cool game.
That'd be a good IP. Not to mention, Venom is much different. The characteristics of the character, the characteristics of like the webbing and the suit and everything else, to where that it would be, because the suit is its own entity.
Yeah.
So you could be fighting somebody hands on. The suit will be doing something else behind you because the suit sees somebody coming up behind you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And then it's going to block her. It's going to shoot some tentacles out or something like that.
This goes in a super different direction, but I know the games ended up on PlayStation, so Sony will be able to do it. I would love a new Mega Man game. I really would. I would love a modern Mega Man game.
That would.
With modern graphics, but you know, you could still make it a side scroller. You can still make it a side scroller.
Oh no,
it doesn't need to be one of those 3D games. You don't have to make it that.
3D side scrollers are still cool though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what they turned into, I believe, with like X. I don't remember what part of the X series, maybe X6 on, maybe X7 on. Mm-hmm. It was like that, but I would love a new Mega Man game. I love those games.
That'd be cool. Okay, so you gave me a new and you gave me a continuation. Nice.
All right.
There you go, man. See, you got both. You got them both. I'm proud of you, boy.
That was tough, man. I was sweating.
Next thing we have is actually something I want to ask you about. So, you've played Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Oh, have I?
You have played that game to nauseam. Mm-hmm. You and your wife.
Yep.
Have you guys ever tried to sit in things?
No, my wife actually generally gets angry about like the lack of shit you can do with things, like how they just sit there and there's really no other, like you can't get in a pool, you can't like, you know what I mean? So no, I mean I wish we could do more of that, and I feel like you're about to tell me how I can.
Yeah, so another article from IGN. This one's written by Rebecca Valentine, and she's talking about with Horizons, with Animal Crossing New Horizons. Apparently, there's a glitch in there that you can go ahead and sit in things. You know what I mean? So you can go ahead, you can sit in pools, you can sit in bonfires, in the little teacup ride. It looks like in the well, sit next to a teddy bear. I have no idea how the glitch actually works. I've never tried, so I need to actually try to figure this one out. I'll come back to you guys next week and let y'all know how it goes.
Yeah, because these are some nice photo ops I'm seeing here.
Yeah, I like these, man. Like the fire to where like dude's panicked on his face. Like I enjoy that one.
The amount of times I've seen my wife put things down and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And she's like, yeah, it's cool, but I can't do anything with it. Like, and I keep thinking, like, again,
well,
I always say
the
that
guitar and the drums you can't really do. I mean,
no, like that's about the most
noise.
you get. That's about the most you get. But like every time I like, and again, this is me speaking from a place where I don't know how long it takes to put certain things into games. I don't make games. I just play them. So
yeah, we don't.
Maybe I'm bitching about something that actually is super hard to do. But every time I see like, why can't you ride your bike around or the scooter, or like why is everything just you sit it down and that's it? Like why can't we take it a little bit further? You know what I mean? Why can't you swim in your pool? You can shake trees and cut them down. Why can't I just get in my pool and swim around?
Hot tub. Relax in the hot tub.
Yeah. Or like my wife has the boxing ring out in or the wrestling ring out on the thing. But all you can do is lay on it and roll like your bed. Why can't you get up and run around the boxing ring? Like that drives me nuts a little bit. Not enough to tell anyone not to play the game. The game's still so much fun. But that type of shit bothers me.
But so this is one of those glitches that might actually stay. So because with as long as the glitch has been around, the people who made Animal Crossing haven't tried to fix it, from what I've heard.
Yeah, and that just shows you how much people are dying to be able to do things with shit when they're super excited about the fact that they can just sit in something, but they need a glitch to do it.
Yeah. All right, so to move along, we're going to talk about Mass Effect Legendary Edition. And this is one that we talked about at one point because we were curious if this was going to happen, but now we have confirmation that it won't. So this article is another one that comes from IGN. I do have articles from other places than IGN. It's just that my first three have just come from IGN. This one's from Joseph Noop, and he went ahead and wrote the article saying that the Mass Effect Legendary Edition will not be coming to Game Pass, but you will be able to get it on EA Play Pro.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Now, we all know that the Legendary Edition is Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 with over 40 DLCs and being able to go ahead and play as Lady Shep.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And Fem Shep is what is what everybody's been calling her. But we've seen all of the Mass Effect games on Game Pass via the EA Play deal that they have. And I definitely was one that was curious on whether this would end up on the Game Pass, because if it's going to end up on Game Pass, I'm not going to spend the $60-$70 on buying it. But I want this goddamn game because I've never played the first one, and I want to play the first one in the beauty that is the remaster.
Yeah. So, actually, I guess I wasn't like fully listening when you first told me about this before we started the cast, because I thought it was just regular EA Play. I didn't realize it was EA Play Pro, which I do not have, because EA Play Pro, yeah. So EA Play is, I believe, $5 a month, or
I think this was like 15
or 30 for the year. I have the 30 for the year. I may have actually canceled it, but I had 30 for the year because I always used to do it for the hockey games and stuff like that to be able to play early. But the EA Play Pro is, I believe, $90 a year, which is a lot.
Yeah, it says right here that the EA Pro Play Pro is available for $15 a month.
$15 a month and $90 for the year.
Yeah.
So I do not have that. So it looks like I will be in the same boat as you. That is kind of upsetting.
It is.
It is kind of upsetting. I mean, how mad at Game Pass am I going to be? Or at Xbox am I going to be?
And everything that we've been able to play on Game Pass regardless. And then this will be the first game that I have bought, besides Animal Crossing on my Switch Lite, in a very long time. Yep. Actually since getting the Series X in November. I haven't bought anything.
Yeah, and remember, the way they're probably looking at it is you can still play all 3 Mass Effect games on Game Pass. They're just not going to be the...
Yes. They're not going to be the 60 frames per second, 4K.
The story's going to be the same. The weapons are going to be the same.
They will.
So they're like, how much do you really want these updated graphics?
A lot. Because I'm going to spend the money.
I want it. How much do I want it?
I want it $60, $70 worth. That's how much I want it.
Touche.
And like I said, I am super excited for this because this is one of the franchises that I have enjoyed a lot with not actually playing the first one.
I was about to say that's what's going to be cool for you is that you actually
I'm going to run through the entire thing. My Paragon is going to start from 1 and end at 3, and then all of my choices.
Yeah.
Into which I know I'm not going to make the right choices, and everybody will not survive. I just know. But when I do play, I will say that I am not going to pick Tally as my companion. I am going to choose somebody else because apparently from what I've read before, Tally is one of the ones that's like a super easy companion to go ahead and actually just have for yourself.
I was Miranda before. I'm going to be Miranda again.
Miranda was another one that that people said was just a super easy companion
to look at. I know.
Well, to look at you, jackass. I mean, that's a given, but still.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. Aside from when it comes to going to the planets to harvest those materials and whatnot, that you're gonna hate that.
Yeah, I probably will. I'm not gonna deny that.
Yeah.
Okay, time to talk about the PlayStation 5.
Oh, this is where I eggplanted.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Guerrilla Games obviously they're making Horizon Forbidden West. Before I even start this whole thing, I pulled this article off of Game Rant, and it was written by Peter Sitkowski.
Nice.
And they're talking about how with the haptic feedback on the DualSense controller for the PS5, you will literally be able to feel the grass.
Things like that to people who haven't experienced the PS5 controller yet may think that just seems stupid and overboard, but it's so cool.
Now, I played the first mission of Miles Morales at your house. I was able to go ahead and, yeah. And I remember, there's one spot where you're helping somebody lift a couch up and put it into a moving van. The way you felt everything when you brushed past somebody, you could feel that in the controller, whether it was left side, right side. You could feel the difference with the triggers when you're going ahead and web slinging and stuff There's so much that you feel to where I'm just it.
What I should have done after I had you do that was try 2K for a minute to see what it's like when your dude's out of energy and it's almost impossible to pull the trigger down.
Yeah.
That's wild too. This is the resistance, because they didn't play with the resistance as much in Miles Morales from what I remember. It was a lot was about the haptic, and you did get some in the trigger, but it wasn't like I experienced in 2K. That's a whole other ballgame, but knowing what they can do, holy moly, this is going to be crazy.
Yeah,
you'll feel it with the bow. I'll tell you that when you're drawing back the bow.
That's one thing I'm actually really excited for with Forbidden West. And I think it was last month they had the complete edition for Horizon that they wanted, that was free, and I downloaded that in a fucking heartbeat because I never played any of the DLCs.
Just imagine what you'll feel with haptic feedback based on the different size of the robotics that you're going against.
Yes.
Imagine. I don't know what stuff they're gonna have in this new. I don't fully remember. I remember a little bit from the trailer, but just going back to the first game. Imagine, what were they called? Watchers. the little guys that just had they had the red eye watchers, and then they had the watchers. Yeah. Imagine like them little things stalking you, and then like a behemoth, or I was like a berserker, I think they were called, or something like that.
Yeah, and then the ravagers, like the big cats.
Imagine the difference in what you'll feel in your controller if you're just walking and then you just feel this big ass rumble.
Yeah.
That's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, in between that and like, I mean, you do see the alligators. You know what I mean? In the trailer, you see the turtles. You mean the big turtle in the trailer. I don't remember if they had like, you mean the big the giraffe boys.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah, man. But yeah, look, for a game that has sold over 10 million copies worldwide, you know what I mean, and it sold that just in 2019 alone. The game has won numerous awards. You're talking about best PlayStation game, best storytelling at the Joystick Game Awards. Look, man, the first game you cannot go wrong at all.
No, and as cool as this shit is, like, it's just all extra, because if you had an Xbox controller, this game would be fantastic. It'd be a phenomenal game. This controller is just going to make it more immersive.
I mean, like, we talked about it before. One of the biggest thing, like, Xbox has more power. We already know that.
Yeah.
The Series X has more power.
Absolutely.
But one of the biggest innovations that came from this next-gen console battle was the controller, the haptic feedbacks, and I mean everything else for the PlayStation DualSense. Because, dude, that changes everything. That literally changes the entire way that you play the game. I've already said before, I still want you to go ahead and do the free upgrade for Borderlands to the PS5, so that way you can feel what it's like to go ahead and shoot a sniper rifle, a shotgun, a handgun, submachine gun. Yeah, it's a free port over.
Huh.
Because look, once again, I'm a Borderlands head, so like.
Well, I may do that today then.
But I am very curious on how that would actually feel, because some of those shotguns, like shooting a flacker, would be fucking nuts. And then going ahead and shooting, you know what I mean, just whatever submachine gun you can find would have to feel so much different.
Bro, this is gonna be. I'm going so off base here, but it was something that went through my mind today, and I am gonna come back to that because I wanted to say something about the tech in that controller. So try to remind me after I get done this. But
Roger that.
When I woke up this morning and I went downstairs to, say good morning to my wife, she was doing something on her phone and she had the Mummy 2 in the background. And from all of my year, did your eyes just open because I just cracked? Is that what that is? Or the fact that it's just a terrible movie?
Ding!
Okay, fair enough.
Good.
Also, by the way, did you ever know that there was a Mummy 4 with Brendan Fraser?
Mm-hmm.
I did not. I thought they were smart enough to stop after 3.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry to anyone who likes those movies. But anyway, from my...
Don't be that
just from playing video games and knowing guns you're supposed to be using in certain situations, it made me irrationally angry for 9:15 in the morning to be sitting on the couch pissed when they are in the Mummy 2, when they are driving, I think it's like a bus, and Brendan Fraser is out the back of the bus shooting these things long range with a shotgun. Meanwhile, when they get in the bus, you got the dude with the machine gun in there. Mm-hmm. And it drove me bananas. I was like screaming at the TV. I'm like, hey, idiot, why don't you with the machine gun get to the back of the bus and save Mr. Blammy for when they get in here like you're supposed to?
Oh, man.
It drove me nuts. I was like, dude, I would die in a video game like this. Like, what are you doing? Why are you trying to shoot? Why are you trying to pick off dudes off the side of a building with a shotgun?
Oh, I love that.
Anyway, back to what we come here for. Like you said, the tech in that controller, and it's so sick to know their plans for that with the new VR, having it in the headset and the controllers and stuff like that. That is going to be bananas. I can't even imagine. Just like I couldn't imagine what the controller was actually going to feel like till I felt it. I can't imagine what that's going to be like when you have the light gun attachment and when you have the headset on.
Yeah, the Pulse headset. Because I was listening to obviously, our boys, Spaghetti Boys. Alex and Jacob, because now Jacob's back now from paternity leave.
Yeah.
And Alex was talking about playing Returnal, which is a PlayStation exclusive. And one of the biggest things about that game that really like jumped for him was the fact of how immersive it was wearing the headset and going ahead and playing the game.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that the game was awesome to begin with. I think he said he's on like the last boss or something like that, but yeah, because he's been playing that game like crazy.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, dude, like just for somebody who doesn't have the system yet, I could not be more excited than literally walking. Just walking in the tall grass. You're going through, you see watches and everything else, and you're creeping, and like on the controller, it's basically gonna feel like, you know what I mean, you're walking against blades of grass on your arms. Like to me, the thought of that and being able to go ahead and do stuff like that when 30 years ago, 25 years ago,
we were happy to see a boop, boop, boop. You were happy to see a scoreboard on the screen. Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like, that for us was like, oh my god, this is incredible. And then now everything is just so hyper realistic.
Well, not saying that other people don't appreciate it, but I would argue that we have an even more of a deeper appreciation now of doing this consoles through history and seeing what people started with and what it took to get to having this type of shit in controllers and be excited about it.
Ooh, we can talk about what I found upstairs in What Are We Playing, because that was actually pretty fucking cool.
We will talk about that for sure, but it makes me so, I feel like it makes me more mad than you, but maybe it doesn't. It still drives me nuts that we can't get you a damn PlayStation. We have been trying so freaking hard.
We're fighting hard.
We are fighting so hard, and I really think, because Best Buy is the best spot, I really think if we were just a half an hour earlier, we'd have been fine.
Yeah, the other day.
We would have been fine, because that's where I got both mine from.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I can't wait for you to get one. I can't wait for that damn VR system to come out so I can get my hand in them Sony Ericssons. I can't wait to get my hand in them Sony Ericssons and just go bananas.
So, it's only just us, because Anthony's at drill. I have a little something, so do you. So let's go ahead and tell the people what we are playing.
What am I playing?
Do we want to start with Freaky Friday, or are we going to end with that?
We'll end with that. I did, and actually, since it's on Game Pass, I would like for you to download it, because I think you played with us too, and we had a lot of waspy fun golfing. Remember when we used to play Tiger Woods? You, me, Anthony.
Oh, I have it on. I already have it downloaded.
You have Rory?
Yep.
I hate saying that name.
Rory?
I always mess it up. Rory. I'm like a God damn, I'm like an injured dog. Can't even, and then you sound even dumber trying to say it slow, like Rory McIlroy. Just gonna call him Remy.
Don't call him.
I got Remy 15.
Don't call him Remy.
But I started messing around with that.
I'm so bad at it.
Me too. So we're coming at it at a perfect time. The only thing I haven't figured out, I don't know if you can do it, but I remember in Tiger Woods you could like see the camera from like the sky and like see where you wanted to put your ball, which I don't think you can do here.
I haven't figured that out. I mean, look, I've been playing the show more than I've been playing Rory.
I hate how easily you can say that. Anyway, so I was messing around with that. And now that I know that you have, we can, that'd be a funny competition. We can go in on we can go in on 18 holes later. Pause. No, I didn't mean to actually pause. I was pausing myself there. I realized what I said after I said it. We can go in 18 holes, can't come out. Anyway, so I also continued A Plague Tale: Innocence, which I started. I believe I talked about it last week.
Yeah, you did.
And I have gotten a little further in that. I have finally encountered the rats. Ugly motherfuckers. Fast and aggressive. They hate light, so a lot of times you're, picking up torches, which do burn out super fast. So you have to figure out what you're going to light to work your way through.
Oh, really?
I've finally gotten to the crafting portion of the game where you get to work tables and you can, work on your sling, on your ammo pouch. You can, make your footsteps quieter, which I did. I'm working on my next upgrade, which is to not need a workbench to be able to craft stuff. I can just do it out in the wild.
Ooh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, so where I ended last time was I was talking about how I was looking for the doctor, Laurentius, for my little brother.
Yeah.
I found him. He's sick. He had like boils all over his face. And I'm like, wasn't that a plague too? Boils?
I feel like that was part of the bubonic plague.
Well, I'm talking about like the what is it? The 7 plagues?
The Black Death?
No, I mean like
I'm talking about the Black Death.
I'm talking about fleas, locusts, frogs. I'm pretty sure one was boils.
I'm not that religious, fam.
Clearly, I'm not doing great with it either. Anyway,
and you're way more religious than me.
His face was all boiled up. But he sent me and his, I don't know if I feel like it was his grandson who was there taking care of him down to this like alchemy lab to teach me things. So now I've been able to craft this. It's like a potion that I can, throw and light things on fire to help myself out. And now I'm just still working on, I forget where we're supposed to go now. Oh, but the place that I just got to, holy moly, spoiler alert. Holy shit. We escape with my little brother and Laurentius's, again, I believe it's his grandson, who's telling us the next place to go. We take this boat, we get away from these rats, and we get to this place, this fucking island, and they keep talking about this god-awful smell. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on anyway. And then my little brother just runs ahead, which drives me nuts. It's like, get your little ass next to me and stay here. But anyway, he runs ahead, and he, like, screams and said, you guys got to come look at this. And you get to this ridge, and it is just a battlefield of dead bodies everywhere. Dead.
So
I believe it was like the English soldiers, I think they said.
Shit.
Dude, just literally just bodies on top of bodies that you have to walk through, and you're literally like stepping through these bodies. It's wild. Like the shock value you get from overlooking this entire battlefield just decimated with just dead bodies everywhere was crazy. And that's where I was like, this is a perfect place to pause and pick it up next time. So we'll see where that goes. And as you mentioned, Freaky Friday has restarted.
And I will go ahead and say that this was your choice. Regardless of the games that were available, this was still your choice.
Yes. There wasn't very many games available for Freaky Friday that would have made sense because, Alien Isolation I'd already played. Five Nights. I also have to think now because of how, granted, thank goodness it turned into something that was fun to watch. The first little bit of Blair Witch was brutal. Having people just watch
Blair Witch turned out being incredible and very deep.
Yeah.
To actually process throughout the entire thing.
Which I'm glad because, like I said, the beginning was rough and it was just a lot of repetitive shit, not knowing where to go. And I try to think about the people that are watching this shit. I don't want it to be something fun to watch. So then I was like, and I hate starting games in the middle of a franchise too. So I saw the Five Nights at Freddy's games. I was going to play the first one. And I was like, I feel like that could set me up for the same thing. I'm just staring at security cameras and whatever. And I don't know that it's going to be a great watch for people. So then I saw Outlast 2. And just looking at it, it looked horrifying. And I was like, I wonder if they have the first one. Which they ended up having the first one with the Whistleblower DLC to flash back a little bit. Anyone who has listened to our podcast, if you remember our controversial episode where we did most controversial moments in gaming, and even if you didn't listen, go back. It's a hell of an episode to listen to where you find out just how terrible Wes is. But I
don't want to talk about it.
One of the moments that I talked about was the Whistleblower DLC for the first Outlast game, where I believe a man was straight up like castrated on camera by like this dude called the Whistleblower. I don't remember, but it was from the first Outlast game. It was from the DLC. So I saw Outlast 2 on there. I was like, dude, I really don't want to start on the second game, so I wonder if they have the first one. They had the first one and the DLC for $25 on the Microsoft Store. You threw me 15 and we're like, dude, get it. So I got it.
Anything for the brand. And just to go ahead and say real quick, it is Season 2, Episode 6. That is the controversial parts and endings in games that we did. We published that on February 11th of last year.
And it looks here like it's got the second highest.
It's pretty good
view total of that season.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's a hell of an episode. There's some wild stuff there. So I got the first Outlast game, and we started that last night. So that's going to be my run. I don't believe the games are very long, from what I've read. I think someone said that like the second game maybe was like 5 hours. So they seem to be a little more not quite episodic, but not super long. But again, I believe when they name those run times, it's based on people who either know what they're doing or just go straight through. They don't account for getting terrified, pausing the game, doubling back, shit like that. So what do you got here?
Looks like about 6 is the longest I'm seeing.
Okay. So that's
for you, it might be about 5.5.
Okay. So we started the first one, and basically you play What was his name? Ethan. Oh, you got to look up the name. It's not Ethan Winters. I know that's Resident Evil, but I feel like his name was Ethan. Because didn't we just talk about how they're always Ethan?
So it's Ethan's or Elliot's or just some E name.
Can you type in Outlast protagonist? I just need to remember his name because I'm about to be talking about him. What is his damn name? I'm probably wrong. Miles Upshur. I'm way wrong. My apologies to all the Ethans and Elliots out there. So you play Miles Upshur, who is an investigative reporter, and basically you find out that there's some next level savage, not cool shit going on at something Massive Asylum, Mount Massive Asylum,
something like that.
I believe
that place was not nice.
Yeah, and you know, granted we were just wrong when we said it's always Elliots and Ethans, but when it comes to this, it's always an asylum. It's always an asylum. You know, in these stupid games, you always end up in an asylum somewhere. But when you first start the game, to my lack of knowledge, you start with a camcorder. So I ended my last Freaky Friday.
You just unintentionally find these.
Right.
Find these games.
Right, so I had that damn camcorder with me in Blair Witch, thought I got away from it, thought I picked a game where I'd feel a little more comfortable, where I'd have, you know, a gun and options. No, I have a camcorder and no options. No, just kidding. You have a camcorder, but it's very much a game that, if you've never played Clock Tower, that's the closest thing I can compare it to, the Clock Tower series, which it seems like maybe with the game only being 5.5 hours, maybe they break it down into like either hour-and-a-half increments or whatever, where you have different bosses, because they've talked about a couple different ones. They've talked about this guy, the dude that I saw last night, who's this big, fat, military...
Bulking motherfucker, yeah.
Like, he was in Afghanistan. He's got PTSD and fucking bananas. And you got the priest. There's a priest. So they have different bosses.
Calling you his acolyte?
Yes. Or his apostle, right?
Apostle, yes.
Yeah. And
sorry.
The way Clock Tower worked, basically, it was the same setup. Certain bosses were introduced, but you couldn't actually fight them at first. All you could do was run and hide.
Yes. Eventually,
it got to a point toward the end of the level where you could fight them. I don't know if it's the same way in this game, but your only options are to run, hide, or die, as they say. And my job is just to go through this asylum with my trusty camcorder and record. That's basically it. Record what I'm seeing so I can, you know, report back, talk about what's going on. And
once you survive,
it puts you in the shit right away. Like, as soon as you get in this thing, I had no idea about that night vision effect. No idea. Like, you get into this asylum finally, and it's only the first few minutes of the game, so I'm really not spoiling much, but the lights go out and you're taught about the night vision on your camcorder, and it is like, if you've ever seen the movie Quarantine, it looks just like that.
Yeah.
And you're walking through these things, and something I learned about the game that I don't like, that I'll get used to, because it's what led to my first major scream, which was horrific. I got the shit scared out of me. Terribly. I played it for my wife this morning. She thought it was hilarious. And somehow she didn't hear it, even though she was right above me. But it's one of those types of games where when you pause and you save, as soon as the game saves, it automatically unpauses. It doesn't wait for it. The game doesn't stay paused like most other games.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I was about to go through a door. I was like, I wonder if this is a game where you can save anywhere you want. So I opened. I was like, cool, I can save. And this was in the middle of me opening the door is when I paused. So I was thinking, okay, I can save, unpause, and be ready. No. The game unpaused as soon as it saved, and this freaking dead body fell from the ceiling, and just my asshole just evacuated. Just evacuated. Like, nobody's home. So, played a little bit through there, met this big hulking asshole. Had another dude with like a, what do you have, like a 2x4 that he was chasing me with? Some skinny...
Nah, that was like a pipe.
Ugly bitch, or maybe it was like a pipe or something like that.
Yeah, that was towards the end of what you were doing with the generator.
I underestimated how fast they were. Like, I thought they would be slow and dumb like most other games. No. Like, I was running in circles. He
ran in circles, and then you went hiding in a locker, and then he just opened the locker and beat you he fucking hit you straight in the face.
Yeah. That's what was so weird. Like, I'm pretty sure he's got this big ass pipe, and he still elected to punch me in the face. He's like, you don't deserve the pipe. I'm just gonna punch you in the face
because you're that dumb.
For hiding in a locker that I watched you go into.
Yeah.
Like, you get the 5-knuckle shuffle for that. He did eventually get me after I had to like kick on these generators so I could, you know, turn the power back onto the place. He did eventually get me. I knew where I had to go. I just forgot when I got into this one room that there was a crack in the wall that I had to go through. So I just went into this room and got the 5-finger death punch again. And this time it put me down. But then, you know, I was able to get up and out, and I got caught by the priest. I got caught by the priest, and I wake up in this.
Hit you with some sleepy juice.
He hit me with some sleepy juice. He stabbed me right in the chest with some sleepy juice. And I woke up in a padded room covered in crucifixes and shitty ass writing, and it's wild. And we knew what we were getting into because there's a very descriptive warning in the very beginning of the game when you turn on about gore, and I think it said like strong graphic sexual content, and which that part I don't think we've seen.
We haven't seen that yet.
I think that has a lot to do with the Whistleblower DLC, considering what we talked about.
Yes,
with, like,
I would
castration,
think that as well. Now, I am going to go ahead and say that we did review Twitch's games that they will not allow you to play.
Yeah.
Or else you will be banned, and this game is not on that list.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Yeah, I felt good because I honestly didn't even know that was a thing. So when you said, I hope we don't get banned, I was like, I can't imagine we will. And then Adrian said, it's not,
it's not on the list.
It's not on the ban list. And I was like, I didn't even know there was a list. And then he sent us the link.
And then I scrolled through the list when you were streaming.
Yeah. So we are in the clear, but I can see how it would get that way though, because it's a jacked up game.
There's gonna be some shit going down, dude.
It's a jacked up game. It got me a few times, and I'm excited to continue. I'm excited to
watch you continue. And I'm so excited it's not me.
Yeah. So what you got?
I have been playing not really much on actually the like Series X. I've been messing around with the show. I'm going through the minors. Right now I'm on the Fighting Phils, the Reading team.
How is that game?
I actually like it. I'm the pitcher, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I actually have 5 pitchers right now, so
nice.
Yeah, I'm moving up. It's a good game. I'm enjoying it. A little bit of Outriders, a little bit of Destiny. Nothing really to report on those. You know what I mean? It's just I'm just running through them right now. But I am playing another game that.
Don't give too much away, considering what
I'm not going to give. No, I'm actually not going to give much of anything away. All I'm going to say is that the game was developed by one person. Yeah, so it's called Aerial Knights Never Yield. It is a 3D side scroller to where that the directional pad on the Switch. I got it for the Switch. The directional pad. It tells you everything. Everything you need to do. Everywhere you got to go. But dude, this game is fucking fun. It is actually a lot of fun. So I am very, very excited to continue with it. So, but like I said, dude, other than that, I've been kicking Animal Crossing. You know what I mean? Just I can no longer continue to build houses. I have reached my maximum limit.
Yep.
And I actually have like the number 3 villager on my island, which is actually pretty cool. There's a whole tier list.
Oh, that's what I was telling.
Yeah.
Did I tell you or did I tell Jess about it?
No, you must have told Jess.
I told Jess, that there's a tier list where they give you the letter grades of like the people that are the most sought after. We have one too, Celia. She's an eagle.
No, I have a octopus, a pink octopus. I forget what her name is, but
is her house like super regal when you go in there?
I don't think I've actually walked in it yet.
Celia is just this blinding white eagle with just like green and like pink trim, and then when you go in her house, it's all white. It looks like a mansion. Everything's all pristine in there. You actually on your Switch where you have the island with your wife, you got our
meth pig,
resident meth head.
Yeah, the meth pig
that we let go. And it's so funny because it's so crazy that of all people, that's who you got, because I was telling you about him before you even got the game.
Yeah.
When I was telling you about our villagers and how we had this dude who sounded like a demon when he spoke. He sounds like a demon, and we go into his house, and there's just graffiti everywhere.
Yeah,
and he had a smoking barrel in the corner. And I was just like, dude, I don't know what this dude's doing, but like, he sounds like a demon. He never comes outside.
Yeah.
So,
unfortunately, when it comes down to playing, my workouts are actually going to be on temporary hiatus when it comes down to like what I'm streaming. We're running into an issue with a little bit of drift on the Joy-Con of the main Switch, and then my 18-month-old actually got a hold of the Switch and threw it off of the couch. So like one of the ribbon cables that was like inside the Joy-Con was actually like kind of hanging out a little bit. I had to kind of get everything back in and be able to like close the whole thing up. So we're looking to go ahead and get this whole thing fixed.
Why am I just hearing about this?
This happened like 2 nights ago.
Oh.
And also, I mean, look, I play all my stuff on the Switch Lite now.
Yeah.
So Jess is the one that's dealing with the drift and everything else. So that's just unfortunate. But for the time being, there are not going to be workout streams. Just because I don't want to keep on having to pop the Joy-Cons off and on and cause any type of. I don't want to cause any disruptions. Within the system.
We may have something in place for that. So
okay,
we'll talk about that.
All right, but yeah. So that's all I have. And since I did most of the talking today, Andy, tell them where they can find us.
Yes, sir. So, as always, it's that time to connect with CGC. You can find us on consolegamingcrew.com. There's also linked with our Gmail, which is consolegamingcrew@gmail.com. Please drop us a line. Our Twitter, which I always will say is the best place, is where we get the most engagement, is @consolecrew. You can find us Console Gaming Crew on Instagram and YouTube. YouTube, all of our episodes upload there, including some video. Our Facebook, I'm just going to move on.
She hasn't called us back.
Yeah, she just, straight ghosted.
Now she's ghosting us when I thought we ghosted her.
Yeah, we are also I always say a part. We're a part of the Boss Rush Network. We're a part of the Boss Rush Network. You can find us on bossrushgames.com.
Yep.
Right? Yep, got that right.
bossrushgames.com.
There is a whole great community there full of podcasters, not just in the gaming community, but other communities as well. Great content creators, so please check them out as well. Our Twitch is where the magic happens. We are CGC Podcast on Twitch. Like Wes said, we will come back to Wes's workouts once we figure that whole thing out. He does stream Destiny on Monday nights.
Yes.
I am here on Fridays for Freaky Friday.
Yes.
Anthony is about to start Ori, I believe. And I talked to him. He's going to be playing it on the Xbox. They don't have a game share like PlayStation does. So I was like, dude, why don't you just Twitch it so I can still watch you play? He doesn't have a camera and whatnot, so it may just be the game, but you might still be able to catch him twitching Ori every now and again.
That is awesome.
So I don't know that he's going to have a set schedule, but he may pop on there because it's the only way I'll be able to watch him play from my house. So, yeah. So that's all of it. That's everywhere you can find our ass.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
And I want to go ahead and just continue to say this. Yo, we are almost done when it comes down to me having to say this shit at the end. So, just keep the course, man.
Stay the course.
Stay the course. We are going to get there. I promise y'all. So please stay safe. Wash your hands. Mask up wherever you feel like you need to mask up. And as always,
game on.
Game on, y'all.